Another day, Ibrahim here, People's Liberation Academy. I just wanted to chat with, younger folks. I want to talk with you all a little bit. I just got home actually, and I'm gonna share, my experiences with you guys, and the reason for that is, whilst I was spending time with my son, conversation came up, and I realized that a lot of my young brothers, especially across the continent of Africa, would definitely, use some of what I'm about to say on this live. You see, welcome for joining me, guys, by the way. A couple of days ago, matter of fact, before I even talk about my trip, the last live that I did, I told you guys I was, taking my son's car, to him over there, right? And I drove about 1,200 miles, to take my son's car to his school, where he's at. And I told you it was a surprise and everything, and a lot of you guys prayed for me and all of that stuff. So I'm going to talk about that. But what I really want to talk about, guys, is again, for my young folks, I would call them, these are probably, my kids that are about my, son's age, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. They're trying to figure out, life. They're confused right now. They don't know what to do. This live is for them. I want to talk to them because, it's okay to be confused. It's what you do when you're confused, the actions that you take to get you out of the confusion. It's what really matters, because like we always say, if you fall down, it is not a problem to fall down. It is when you don't get up, that's when it becomes a problem. So for a lot of, my folks, young folks in Africa, giving the economic situation, giving the political climate, giving everything that is happening, I want to talk to you all today. But before I start with that, let me say this. Rashid is saying, volume please. Okay, I'll raise my voice up a little bit. But matter of fact, I need to get one of those portable mics these days so that I could, because I think I enjoy doing this on my cell phone, more than sitting in front of my computer these days lately, right? So yes, I'm going to try increasing my voice, so you guys would hear me, all right? But what I'm saying to you guys is, the other day I went, I attended an occasion, right, a high school graduation. So whilst I was sitting there, of course, it's not uncommon to have Sierra Leoneans come up to me and say, "Hey, man, listen, is this you, Ibrahim? I've been watching your videos and this and that on Facebook." But sometimes what surprises me is when other folks from, other African countries come up to me and be like, "Hey, man, listen, I've seen you, this is you, right? Hey, you're doing a good job, la da 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 da. I like what you do and like what you say." So the reason why I'm doing this in English, again, today, my brothers and sisters, I'm going to challenge you, I'm going to provoke your mind, because a lot of people would say, "Ibrahim, talk Creole," but no. We got to bring our brothers and sisters out of that realm. Sierra Leone is an English-speaking country. So I want to appeal to you guys. And most of you guys that are online anyways, that are on Facebook, on social media, a lot of you guys understand English. So I'm going to do it that way. And the reason why I'm doing it is because, like I said, I met, this man walked up to me. He's a Nigerian. He's from Nigeria. His name is Dr. Chris. And he came up with one of my videos and showed it to me and said, "Hey, is that you?" And I was like, "Yes." Hey. He said, "Hey, listen, man, I'm from Nigeria." He said, "My nephews, my nieces," he said, "they follow your page." He said, "Matter of fact, they're the ones that actually showed me your page." He said, "Because they understand sometimes, even though you speak in Creole," he said, "but they understand because your English is kind of mixed with Creole and the English mix." He said, "They actually told me about your page and I've been following you for the past 3 or 4 years." However, his wife is from Sierra Leone too. So, that was just awesome. So both of them came up to me and saying, "Hey, Ibrahim, we've been seeing your videos." So, that makes me think. And I started thinking, I was like, you know what? I think moving forward, since I have a bigger audience that I imagine I have, I didn't know I have people listening to me. I mean, I think I have a little bit of an idea that people listen to me, you know, from across Africa, across the globe. But now that I know that the reach is there, and a lot of what I say, these people, it resonates with them. Because most of the problems and situations we are dealing with, not just in Sierra Leone, it's not unique to Sierra Leone, it is happening across most developed, you know, underdeveloped nations, third world countries basically, right? And thank you, Awa. You say I need a break. I totally get it, Awa. I've rested properly, you know, so I'm fine. So I just want to let you guys know, if I'm doing it in English, most of my lives now would be in English if I'm going to do videos, because sometimes I might not do lives. I will just record these videos and put it up there. But I want you to know it's going to be in English. And I would speak slowly. I would make sure I don't use big words. I would speak slowly because I know I have a tendency of going on and on, right? But I will speak slowly so my point is made. But the reason why I'm doing this live today, again, it's like I said, you know, just coming from seeing my son. And every time I see him, I think about other kids that may need these kinds of, you know, talking to. You see, a lot of our younger brothers and sisters in Africa, they are just as confused, right? They finish high school. That is the ones that even make it that far to finish high school. Because we all know how the situation is with, you know, the economic situation. A lot of parents cannot afford, you know, to put these kids through even high school, right? But most of our brothers in Africa, you know, go through high school. And for a lot of them, that's where their journey stops. That's where their education stops. That is where their opportunity stops, basically. Because at that point, they don't know what to do. They're confused. And this is not only, you know, in Africa, but it also happens to some of our kids here in the United States and in Europe as well. Which, you know, it's confusing to me how, you know, these kids that are in this part of the world with so many opportunities, they are just as confused. They don't know what to do. Mostly after high school. They don't know what to do. So I said to you, it is okay to be confused. And I'm going to take this in two folds, right? I'm going to talk to my brothers in Africa, you know, my kids in Africa, young folks in Africa that are looking for opportunities. They don't know what to do. And even though some of them know what they want to do, the opportunities are not there because they can only do so much because of, you know, corruption and everything, limited opportunities, right? I'm not talking to, you know, those folks that have government connections. I'm not talking to those folks that, you know, through their connections, you know, they're doing good businesses, they have money. But I'm speaking to the underprivileged, those ones that don't know what to do, they don't have, you know, access. You know, they if you look in Africa today, a lot of our brothers and sisters, matter of fact, I've heard, like, you know, in Sierra Leone currently, the thievery, you know, the rate of thieving has gone up exponentially. People are worried. Somebody was telling me that, Ibrahim, even the light bulb in your veranda can be stolen these days. Your meter in front of your house, of course, that has been going on for a long time. Your electric meter can be stolen from your house, even if you put it in a, you know, a metal frame to protect it. It can be stolen, you know, and a lot of the folks that are doing these are young people, right? So what the reason why they do this is because they don't have access to opportunities, right? They don't have access to you know, jobs, because jobs are not created for them. So they are confused. They don't know what to do. So I want to talk to these people. I want to talk to them. I want to talk to my younger folks. You know, you finished high school possibly. If you have not finished high school, make sure you finish high school to the barest. At least that's what you can do, go that far. You're thinking about going to college. You don't know what to do. You don't know what to go study. You don't know what you like doing. That is what I want to talk to you about. You see, but before I even go deep into that, I've seen a lot of, and you guys make a lot of comments, and I appreciate you guys that respond to some of these folks. The problem we have in Africa, a lot of our young brothers and sisters, everything is fast. They don't have time to research. So they'll come on my page and they're asking, what have you done for Sierra Leone? Or what are you going to do for Sierra Leone? And these are people that don't even take the time to research my page, to say, you know what? just because I came by this guy's page today, let me go back and look and see what is this guy up to. But they would come here on this one live, something that I say, they would take that and run with that without taking the time to say, you know what, let me see what this guy is about. Let me go back to his page maybe 2 months, 3 months down the line, get to understand what he's all about. They don't do that. But I want to encourage you guys to understand that learn to research, learn to go back, history, check behind. If you don't understand somebody's what they're saying at the particular moment, you don't understand what I'm saying right now, go back, go look, see what I've said in the past, check everything I'm saying. But some of these people don't take the time to research. They will just take anything out of context and blow it and go with that. Ibrahim, what have you done for Sierra Leone? Let me ask you this. Do you really think what I've done over the years for people in partnership with others, everything I've involved in, projects that I've involved in partnership with other Sierra Leoneans, you think I'm going to come here every day in every live that I do and talk about that? No, I'm not going to be doing that. So to you, if you're one of those people, you're watching this and you're asking, hey, Brian, what have you done for Sierra Leone? I'm not going to tell you what I've done because I cannot be the one who's going to say everything I've done. Go listen to other people or go through my page. Maybe go back a year. Go check to see what I've been up to, what I've been doing. You see, a lot of you guys just think it's all about politics all the time. Yes, we're all political animals. And the reason that I came to social media is basically because of politics. But politics underpins everything we're doing. Every suffering we're going through. That is why I'm into politics. But however, I am branched out. Because again, it's all about life. It's all about philosophical beliefs, right? The philosophies that we have shapes everything we do. But politics is the underlying problem that we have today, in the world that is destroying us. That is why we are so divided because of politics. Politics and religion, those two are the most destructive elements that is going to be the reason for the destruction of the world. It's politics and religion. Because you have a lot of religious fanatics and political fanatics. These people, when it comes to political fanatics, they don't listen to anything. They don't want to hear anything. What they believe is what they believe. They are in silos. We have that in Sierra Leone today. What we call echo chambers. They don't listen to any other views. What they believe is what they believe. What they've heard is what they've heard. They don't want to hear nothing else. They're not open. Their thought process is not open. It's just fixed. It's static. No matter what you say. It's like they're a cord. That is how they think. And we have to change that mindset. We have to change that perspective. But I'm going to address this in a separate life by itself. But like I said, if you're just joining me, what I'm talking about here is for my young brothers and sisters that are confused. They're very confused. And I say this because I have my son. It was just as confused. He didn't know what to do. So that is why I'm here today. I want to talk to you guys. You're at that point where you've finished high school. You don't know what you want to do. You don't want to go to college. You say, oh no, I'm not the college type. But you don't know what you want to do in terms of skill set. You don't know if you want to become a messiner. You don't know if you want to become an electrician. You don't know if you want to become a plumber. You don't know if you want to become some mechanic of some sort, fix vehicles or anything. You don't know if you want to go into computer, IT. You're just as confused. I say to you, especially for those that have just finished in high school right now, you're young. You're in the diaspora, first of all. Or you're back home in Africa somewhere. You're watching this from Africa somewhere. I just want to say to you, it is okay to be confused. However, make sure whilst you're still confused, do something. It could be anything. Do something. So I'm going to give you an example of, like with my son, when he was finishing high school. Believe it or not, he was confused. He didn't know what to do. So I said, okay, there are lots of opportunities. I tried everything. I held his hand, took him places. He said, no, Dad, this is not what I want to do. Everywhere I would take him, he said, this is not what I want to do. What do you want to do? I don't know what I want to do. I said, okay, but at some point you're going to figure it out. Why don't we volunteer? Why don't you go out there in the world? Why don't you go to, nursing homes? See how people live their lives, how they are suffering. Why don't you volunteer with the YMCA? Work with kids that, disadvantaged kids in society. Why don't you explore? Why don't you go work for Domino's, pizza, delivery, right? all of those kinds of things. So I started preparing him from a very early age, and this was even when he was in high school, finishing up high school. I didn't want him to work, but I said, okay, tell you what, I want you to see what it's like. Because you have an option. You have an option of going to college, advancing your education, so you can make a living for yourself, and really, great opportunities, right, would present themselves to you because of college education. Or you can be a loafer and just go work for McDonald's or work for Burger King or work for Domino's Pizza and see what it's like. I made him do that. I said, okay, go work on your holidays, go work, find something to do. I mean, imagine how many kids at age 16, 17 already have their own vehicle, could drive himself around and go work. So he worked with Domino's Pizza. I'm giving you this example, right, so you'd understand the story behind this. Because you could be confused. It's okay to be confused. But explore whilst you're confused. Do everything until you find something that you know, okay, this is what I want to do. So he worked for the Domino's Pizza. I'm not even sure it took a month there. But then he understood what it's like. I mean, making nothing and then have to work those hours. And because you're doing those jobs, you have to deal with all kinds of people that you don't even want to deal with. So that gave him a perspective to life to say, you know what? This is not what I want to do, right? I don't want to be working this kind of job. Nothing against the folks that are doing those jobs. But if you're doing it for a start to get to somewhere, then all well and good. But if you're doing it hoping that, saying that that is what you're going to do for the rest of your life, then you have a problem coming. Because one, you will not be able to live the kind of lifestyle that you deserve, you truly deserve. And, secondly, you're going to make your life a miserable hell. And you're not going to be happy. I'm not saying this to say people have great jobs and they're still not happy with some of the great jobs that they have. Because at the end of the day, if you're not doing what you love, even though you're making money, you would not be happy. So ultimately, you want to be happy. So he went to do that. And later, I noticed that he's not going anymore. I'm like, what's happening? I don't want to do that anymore. I'm like, hey, fine. At least you don't have to come here and pay bills in the house. Nothing like that. Because I swore to myself, I told myself, none of my kids would stay in my house. I don't care what they do and pay any bill in my house. No. I'm an African man. That's how I think. Just like my wife will not pay the mortgage. She will not pay the electric bill. She will not pay the water bill. She will not pay the gas bill. That's me. I'm an African man. That's how I do what I do, right? I'm going to take care of that. So it's the same thing with my kids in my house. No matter how difficult things are, it's not like I'm the richest guy, right? But no, my kids are not going to stay in my home and pay any bill at all. No. As long as they are up to something productive. If they're not doing anything productive, then that's a conversation by itself again. Because once you finish high school, I told my son, when you finish high school, I'm going to give you a year. After that year, if you don't know what you want to do at that point, you got to move out of my house. You're not going to stay in my house. This is America, land of opportunity. You're going to go figure something out for yourself. But I'm going to keep you in my house, spoil you, destroy you, because that is what's going to happen when you keep these kids in your house at that age. Destroy their lives. And then, tomorrow, what's going to happen? I'm not going to be a party to someone who's going to aid or help somebody destroy themselves. Because when you give these kids all of this cushion for them to stay around you, in as much as we love them, I love my kids. But at the same time, my kids are not going to stay in my house a year after finishing high school. No. We got to get something going. It's going to be different if, let's say, they go to college, right? And they're staying in the house. That's fine with me. But you cannot stay in my house not doing anything at all, under no circumstances. And you're not going to stay in my house working a menial job. The only way you're going to stay in my house is you're off to college, you're doing something very productive, and I know you're working on something substantive. But you're not going to stay in my house and you're working McDonald's and doing these kinds of things, because you're going to get lazy and complacent. And I know that, because they will think all of a sudden, I don't have to pay any mortgage, I don't have to pay rent, I don't have to pay for water, I don't have to pay for gas, I don't have to pay water bill. They get comfortable. And when they get comfortable, they start losing their mind. And so I'm not going to do that. And I told my son this, right? So thank God. It didn't even take a year. It's gone. It's doing its own thing. But I'm saying to you guys out there, it is okay to be confused. But at the same time, Do something. Go enroll in a university. It could be a community college. Don't stay home because you're confused, you don't know what to do. Empower yourself. Go out there, especially for you guys in America or you guys in Europe. There is no way you should waste your time. If you're going to spend, say, 6 months and go explore, maybe travel the world somewhere, go volunteer somewhere in some disadvantaged country. I even told my son, I'm like, if you're ready to go to Sierra Leone and go spend a month or two to experience life itself, let's do that. I'm saying all of these are the opportunities and options that you have. And for parents out here too, I'm just sharing this. A lot of you guys would know what I'm saying because it's not like it's rocket science, right? But this is my experience. And I told him, he said, well, no, Dad, I don't want to go because I remember going back in 2014 to Sierra Leone. Things were not so pleasant. He remembered everything. I thought it because he was about, like, I think 10 years old when I took him there, because my oldest son was born in Sierra Leone. We came when he was 3 years old. So he didn't remember as much, but when we took him back when he was 10 years old, so he understands exactly what it's like. I'm like, if you want to go see, go. I said, because, again, I'm not going to keep you in this house for a whole after a year. I'm going to be here with you for the first year. But after that, you're not going to stay in this house. You're not going to be comfortable. I don't want you to think life is so comfortable and easy. Just because I'm making life easy for you, because I'm going to make it easy for you while you're still in school. But after that, when you finish high school, no. And we're going to do that. I see someone saying college is not for everybody. Facts. College is not for everybody. So if you're listening to me, Judge, I said again, for those people, if college is not for you, but there is a skill set for you. So as long as you're doing something, learning a skill set, I'm with that. Maybe you're going to some course to finish HVAC or to become a mechanic or something along the line, right? Go do that. I'm all for that. As long as you're doing something productive. Because let me tell you this. Some people in college, they graduate college, they don't even make half as much as what some HVAC technicians make. People that fix the air conditioner. Or they don't even make how much a mechanic would make, depending on where they're working, right? So it's not about college everything. A lot of people are graduating college, they have master's degree, and they're still not making more than $50,000, $60,000 a year. So that is not what I'm saying. But I'm just saying you have to ensure that you do something immediately after high school. Don't waste time sitting around saying, I'm confused, I don't know what to do. No, go do something. Because later, when you're doing certain things, during that is when you can find out what you really love and what you wanted to do. Maybe, you don't know, maybe you want to become a teacher, you know? So maybe you can volunteer at a school and figure out that, oh, maybe, you know what, I can do this. You know, you can figure out that, you know what, I love fixing things up. You can figure that and say, hey, this is what I want to do. So there are technical, vocational, tertiary universities, colleges that you can go to and get something going. But it's very essential that you empower yourself. Read. It's very important. So I'm saying again, it's okay to be confused, but it's what you do during your moments of confusion is what's really, really important. Don't waste your time sitting at home thinking everything is gonna, fan out.